What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here with some grading company news. This came out yesterday. There wasn't immediate time crunch for it, so I figured I didn't need to do the whole breaking news drop and just made this today's video instead. So, two things are happening here. We're going to cover the PSA stuff first, and then there's something brewing on the pot with BGS. So we'll cover that second, but the PSA one is more time sensitive. The BGS one is more something's going on that we need to talk about. PSA. They ran the $50 economy lottery slot thing, a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago now, I think, actually, and they haven't done one since. Well, yesterday, as in Wednesday, they announced what you see on the screen here, that there are 3 economy drops coming Thursday, Tuesday, and Thursday, all within the next week, beginning tonight. They are $50 per card with $1,000 declared value and a 90-day turnaround time. People may say, how are they going to guarantee the 90-day turnaround time? PSA sucks. I've had my cards forever. You would not be wrong, but I'm assuming they know what they're doing in regards to knowing exactly how many orders they could take, hence the queue, and only accepting that amount of cards coming in that they know that they can turn and process in that 90-day period. Most of the backlog was built up pre-current management group. I think we all need to keep that in mind. The current management group is working to get the backlog back in place and cleared out. That being said, I would completely understand if you're a little grumpy if you've had cards sitting at PSA for a while. I personally don't. So to me, this is whatever, but if I had cards sitting at PSA, I may think differently about that. So I'm sure there will be people on the internet mad about something, which there typically is, usually pretty much no matter what they do. There were going to be 2 primary camps of people, those that are super pissed off and those running to buy silver memberships to be able to try to get into these events, because that is the other thing. To qualify for these events, which this is a little shady, you do need to be a silver member, which is a $100 annual PSA membership. I, full disclosure, previously never had a PSA membership. That changed about 15 minutes ago. I went ahead and signed up because I have a lot of cards I would send at $50. I was actually just getting ready to send cards on the new regular service at $100 a card. I had a Darius Garland that I recently picked up. I've shown it on Instagram. I haven't talked about it on a video yet. We'll do that coming soon. But I had a raw Darius Garland. I bought my first raw card in a year, probably, at least, close to a year. And I had some Spider-Man Prism cards that I was gonna say, you know what, just screw it. I want these in PSA slabs. I'll pay the $100 a card and send them regular. Then this dropped, and I figured, what the hell? Worst case, I'll have a first-hand experience on the PSA submission process. So it is what it is. I am now a PSA silver member for a chance to potentially get through on one of these dates. I don't know how big of a cluster F it'll be, but we will find out together. Maybe I'll go live for it. I don't know. We'll see. I have stuff going on tomorrow night that I'm not sure I'll be able to go live for it, but that's neither here nor there. Are people going to be mad about the $100 membership fee to get access to this? Probably, because once again, the internet gets mad about everything. So, and I can understand people getting frustrated with that. There are people that already have silver memberships and higher tier memberships that will already just get access to this, that have been extended and carried over since they've kind of halted things the last year. So those people will have access to this. And like I said, personally, I have a lot of cards, not a lot. I have a decent amount of stuff I would send at $50 a card. A lot of it being Marvel. I still have a lot of 90 MU that I would like to grade that at $100 a card, I'm not sure it makes sense. But at $50 a card, there's some stuff I would send for sure. There's for sure some stuff I would send at $50 a card. But once again, I can understand if you're a little salty about this, not real happy about this, if you have cards in the backlog, if you're pissed that you have to sign up for a membership, you have to pay them $100 for a chance to enter a lottery to even get in for this. I'm guessing they're doing staggered like this to kind of get an idea for how much demand there is for each drop, and then they can kind of plan things accordingly, and kind of a testing bed moving forward for cheaper submission tiers. Because I think you're going to continue to see this as they roll out more service and as the backlog clears. Now, one thing I have heard is the $100 regular service. I've heard people are getting orders back that they're moving fast on that stuff. So I don't think they had as much demand as they anticipated at $100 a card, which does not surprise me. I've stated this a lot. Are there cards that make sense at $100? Yes. Are there a lot of cards that make sense at $100? Probably not. Most things you would just pay the extra $50 to get it back faster, or you just kind of hang and wait for the cheaper tier service. I know, I mean, I'll just, whatever. I'm sure this will make some people mad because that's just what happens. I just sent 6 cards to SGC in an SGC order at $30 a card. If I knew I could have graded those at PSA for $50 a card, I probably would not have sent any of those. I would have sent a couple of them because there's still a couple of them I think might look good in the SGC slab. I would not have sent as many cards to SGC. I sent them 6 cards. I probably would have sent them 2 cards, maybe 3. And then at least 3 to 4 would have went to PSA instead if I knew I was getting $50 card service. So I will be in the lottery queue tomorrow night. We will see what happens with that. And like I said, I have at least, I know of 4 cards right now that I would love to send at $50 a card. And I have a stack of stuff in Card Savers that I could easily find 2 more cards to fill that slot. That would not be a problem. So the IG comments on this post are very entertaining if you need some time to kill. Let's, I think that pretty much covers it with PSA. Like I said, people are going to be mad that I already have cards sitting there. I get it. People are going to be mad that you have to buy a $100 membership to get access to the lottery events. I get it. That being said, there's probably people going to be lined up out the door to try to get into these slots, would be my guess. I'll be very curious to see how smooth things go later this evening and then next week as well, and on the Tuesday and Thursday. So that pretty much sums up the PSA stuff. Curious for your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one of those buckets do you kind of fall in, or do you just not care? Which I get as well. I guess that would be a 4th bucket. But did you not previously have a PSA membership and now you signed up for one to have a shot at this? Or do you already have one and you're looking, forward to this since you already have one? Sure, you'll go ahead and try. F them. Are you in that category? Like I said, I think there's a few different buckets that people are going to fall into here. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. Let's transition over to Beckett, and I don't have a slide or anything for this, but there are rumors swirling. There were some posts in Discord today, and this was talked about as well going into the Dallas show. So it's beginning to bubble up that Beckett is opening up, or BGS, whatever you want to call them, is beginning to potentially leak out or accept some standard service tiers. There was a couple group submitters that posted some stuff today, and then there was also some stuff posted prior to the Dallas show. But this is not widely out there. Beckett hasn't announced it. I haven't seen it a lot of different places, but I have seen it pop up enough places now to make me think that this is 100% legit and is happening. It seems like, as of right now, it's going to be $60 a card, I believe, with subgrades, with a 4 to 5 month turnaround time. Like I said, that is semi-rumor, I'm willing to kind of bank on it, so maybe I don't necessarily have everything correct here. But BGS at $60 per card with 4 to 5 month turnaround time. I still don't know if they make sense at $60 a card. Let's be real here. That is, even with paying for a PSA membership, let's say you get in and you could send them cards. I would rather do that than send the Beckett personally. If you get a BGS 9.5, it's going to sell for less than a PSA 10. If you're going to spend $60 to send the Beckett, you could probably just send the SGC for $30 a card. And in a lot of stuff, I mean, once again, it kind of depends on what you're sending, to each their own. But if you're just talking to resale, an SGC 10 in a lot of cases will outsell a BGS 9, or it's at least close enough that it's probably not worth the extra $30. Unless it's something really high end and you want the Beckett brand appeal, which I get. I completely understand that. But I still don't know, even at $60 a card with Beckett at a 4 to 5 month turnaround time, how many cards actually make sense at that price point. So, are we beginning to see a little bit of a price war here between PSA and Beckett? And then, SGC sitting out there at $30 a card. with PSA starting to introduce, I'll be curious. So we have this event now in January. Are these going to be once a month? Are these going to be a couple times a month? How often are they going to roll out these $50 card events? And do they become more frequent as the backlog gets lesser and lesser? Meanwhile, Beckett, you think PSA's backlog is bad? Let me tell you something. Go look on the Blowout Forums grading forum, sub forum, whatever, and click on Beckett and read through some of those comments. Some of those people have been waiting almost, I think, over a year to 2 years for cards sent at much higher service levels than the people that are waiting on stuff from PSA. Like, I get it. It sucks that you have stuff sitting at PSA, but at least your cost to grade is pretty cheap on those. Some of the Beckett service tiers, that was not the case. It just kind of depends. Their backlog, I don't know how big it is, how small it is. I just know they're really slow at getting through it. So for them to accept cards at $60 with a 4 to 5 month turnaround time, I don't know, maybe I'm being hypocritical here because I'm not giving PSA as much crap for that. But at least, I guess I give PSA the benefit of the doubt because they've at least like shown us under the hood a little bit. You know, they've given us the complete through date tracker, which now has the bulk sub stuff on it. They publish the numbers of how much stuff they're putting out on a monthly basis now. They've done that the last couple months. GemRate and guys like that have been doing it manually for a while. So at least PSA is like giving us updates and information. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a Beckett peep in months. I think the last time they said anything was the industry summit in Vegas, and that blew up in their face because that went sideways fast with the comments that they made with how big the backlog was and how long things were going to take and all that stuff. So once again, very interested to kind of see how all this stuff plays out. A lot of moving and shaking going on in the grading world right now, it seems like, as prices continue to come down. And once again, that's good for us because as these companies get cheaper, it's going to put downward pressure on everybody else to be more competitive price-wise because they're going to want cards to fill their coffers to be able to grade. So we'll see what happens. But once again, curious, are you making a play are you entering the lottery? Will the odds ever be in your favor? Or are we lining up with Katniss Everdeen and getting ready to enter the Thunderdome to mix two different movie franchises together there? Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and just cheer for chaos and see what happens? Or are you going to be pissed? Are you going to be part of the mob, the angry mob with pitchforks and torches, mad at PSA for charging a fee for this, a membership fee, and also the fact that if you still have cards sitting in a backlog somewhere and then now they're doing stuff like this, which, like I said, I don't necessarily fault you for that. I don't have cards there, so I don't know how I would feel. If I did, probably not great. It just depends. Depends on what I was paying to get those graded. So interesting stuff going on. We shall see. If worst case scenario, I will see you boys and girls in Thunderdome tomorrow night fighting for a submission slot to try to get some Marvel cards graded at $50 a piece. So we'll see how this goes. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Later. I said later. I say peace. Peace.